We have these wonderful bios that we ask their name, DOB and DOD, their age.
Say what that means so that.
I'm sorry, date of death, date of birth, of course. And then we've had them with no bios last year, remember? Breaks my heart. Having a grandson, you know, it's like, but I'm so happy when I see there's a few lines, you know, and then like, this was at the bottom of her bio, so I put it at the top, you know, and I wrote the highlights of what she wrote, you know, so.
So the bare minimum information is their full name, date of birth, and the date that they passed away. It's nice sometimes you see like this one has the age. I mean, it doesn't have to have the age. Sometimes it's nice to have the age on it also. And then what we recommend for people like is just pull some nice details out of the bios. Some of the bios are really long, you know, so you're just pulling a few like keywords out of the bios and putting them on. I've seen some people when they make the tombstones, like if they say like, you know, loved music, then they might put like music notes on it, right? Or they were a musician or something, they might do something like that. But the bare minimum information is their full name, date of birth, and the date they passed, and then their age is nice sometimes as well. And then we put it, if we've been sent a picture, we put a picture on it.
Anything you can use that's flat, you can do this. Just because making a border for a poster, to me, helps keep it in order. This isn't necessary to do this, but it's real easy. You just measure an inch and make a mark all the way around. It makes a nice finishing border.
And you do that with this nice white chalk.
Yes. You can take it off with your finger or a cloth or a paintbrush with water on it, anything. Some of the pictures are 4x4 and some of them are 4x6. So on a lot of the boards, I fixed them so they can be, when we get the pictures, the reason I did this was so they can be either 4x4, 6x4, and then I think I left this space, if I'm wrong. Yes, 6x.
So they can go anywhere.
Because some of them are going to be this way and some of them are going to be that way. So. Now, when I was in high school and I made posters all the time, I was the queen of poster making. Every class asked me to make posters. So the fast way for me was to make large grid because you want big bold letters for posters. So I don't know if this will help people. I just wanted to show this is the second method. This is not the preferred method. And it's just doing this, making them all the same size all the way across and then this way. So say his name is Jared. They have nice squares to do that in, and it helps them make their poster, their things a little neater than when you see some of them. And then, and this is where I like people to see how easy it is. Just going across. It doesn't even have, that doesn't even have to be neat. So, all the way across. Because you can bother doing 1.5 all the way across and it's a pain in the neck. When the straight edge is your thing. So if you want to leave a big space, that's the person's name. Print it, write it. and maybe the date of birth over here, the date of their birth, and the date of their DOD. So then you don't have to go crazy making lines, and that's the way I look at it. You can skip a space. It doesn't have to all be in writing, it doesn't have to all be in printing. You can mix it. So, loved by many. So it can just go so fast, and you don't have to put so much time and effort into it. So it's very good.
Yeah, awesome.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy cheesy. Yeah.
It's almost like that, like
count the letters.
pre-gridding it would be like a lot of work, but
It's not. It goes really fast. You put your ruler down and you just zippity doo dah. I timed it. It was just a few minutes.
zippity doo
I always try to count how many letters are in the name and center. You know, like what's the center of
Exactly.
the first and last name, and if it will fit.
So the nice thing is with the grid, if you've
use
got a long
boxes.
name up here
Pre-count it.
and you
Right.
count over so many spaces to make it balanced out, like so it staggers, then you've got the first name and the last name,
Right.
and then you can
Or you could center it if you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Like you could center Jared Smith
Mhm.
or stagger it.
Well, I was meant if this was a long name, like
Oh.
Jeremiah, then his last name down here, but you might want to count it out so you've got 2 spaces here and 2 spaces down here, and that way you can put a heart or a wing or a flurry, a little flurry or something, and that fills in, makes the person that's looking at their loved one's poster feel like, oh, look at, they put a little time into it, instead of.
Yeah, it's important to know about acrylic paint, that acrylic paint is very water soluble and washable when it's wet. And then when it's dry, not so much. But when it's wet, it's very you can manipulate it really easily. You can wash it off, remove it, but not when it's dry. And then the other thing that's important for people to know is that we only do black and white and gray.
Yes.
So we don't do any colors. That's really important to us. It's just really important to have a cohesive look for the entire cemetery, and they wouldn't look like tombstones if it were color. Like, just wouldn't look like tombstones. They're supposed to look like tombstones, and they do, like when they're all set up. But only black, white, and gray is what we allow on them.
So when applying the photo, you're going to first take a glue stick, glue the back of the photo. Maybe a glue stick that's got some glue. This is to hold your photo in place so it doesn't slide all over when you go to tape it. And the photo goes typically in the top and the middle, or wherever there's room. And you just put it on there flat. Smooth it out real nice, the best you can. Take a damp cloth and just wipe the chalk lines off. Let it dry really quick. And then we're going to apply clear packing tape over the entire picture. When you do this, you want to make sure it's very smooth. So it's important to go really slow. And how I do it is I kind of hold the tape over the picture, measure out a little bit bigger than both sides. I'll rip off my tape piece and start at one end or the other, and you want to make sure that all sides of the photo are covered. So going a little over the edges is good, and just slowly flatten it down. That'll decrease any air bubbles. And we'll do the whole same thing across the whole photo. And the tape keeps the photo protected from any inclement weather. God forbid it rains. And there. Nice and smooth and very minimal air bubbles.